Welcome everyone. It's time to get comfortable and join me by the fire as we get ready to enter another legendary tale into the archives of casual loreplay. For this installment, I will be acquainting you all with the history of the moon and its significance to our hero's storyline. As you may or may not already be aware, the world through which we follow our heroes has always been devoid of a moon. Because of this anomaly, the abilities which would normally rely on this planetary marvel have naturally adapted over time to utilize the stars instead. You could consult the wisest sages, or even the most ancient of history books, and you never once find so much as a mention of the word moon, let alone anything about how they once impacted the planet. History, however, is often either incomplete or outright wrong, and millenniums ago, there actually was a time when 2 moons adorned the night sky. These massive celestial spheres were a divine planetary blessing, created and designed by Selûne, the goddess of the moon herself. Selûne's love for fostering growth inspired her creation of the astral projector, a device capable of bestowing a moon to any planet in the cosmos. The astral projector was an orrery, known in our world most commonly as a scale model of the solar system. Selûne's first astral projector contained every plane of existence or planetary body known to exist at the time, showing their relative size and positions to each other in perfect accuracy. At the center of this display was a small focus, forged from sand gathered from its very pillar of creation. This legendary apparatus marked a monumental turning point in the universe, serving as the template for all of its future recreations. Selûne monitored thousands of different planets at a time, seeing if any of them exhibited enough potential to receive her gift. When she finally made a decision, Selûne would construct an orrery of their solar system, as well as a set of 2 moons, both unique to that planet, imparting a fragment of her own being in the process. The moons were then condensed and transported along with the orrery by 2 powerful beings tasked with keeping this artifact safe. As luck would have it, one of the planets on the receiving end of this endowment was none other than Tritech, where our heroes call home. Selecting the 2 angels named Ezecriel and Brunestin to serve as its protectors, the 2 moons were officially bequeathed. These spheres enriched the planet, aligning once a year in perfect harmony during an event known as the Lunar Epoch. Crops would grow overnight, yielding multiple harvests in a single day. Saplings would become hardy, full-grown trees overnight. Struggles would be absolved as peace overwhelmed society, and devout individuals would even find the connection to their deity profoundly strengthened. Even denizens of the Underdark benefited from this phenomenon, looking forward each year to the perks of the Lunar Epoch. It was not wise to risk potentially tempting any evil forces with the knowledge of their obligation, so Ezecriel and Brunestin maintained a life of secrecy and solitude. After thousands of years, their unconditional isolation surmounted itself into lonesome misery, causing them to drop their guard. An opportunity to end their burden of boredom eventually presented itself when they met a wandering druid who was walking in the forest nearby. Sensing no signs of evil or deceit, the 2 angels opened themselves up, becoming close friends with the small man. Unfortunately, this act of trust, which they were both strongly advised against, would result in their demise. While picking mushrooms in a cave near his home, the wandering druid fell prey to a group of powerful mind flayers, sucking out his brain and taking all of his knowledge with them. The Illithid quickly brought this information back to their colony, presenting it to the Elder Brain. His collection of treasures felt empty without this artifact, compelling him to assemble an army of whatever creatures he could manage to control. Word of the Elder Brain's attack spread throughout the Underdark, catching the attention of another equally interested party, the Drow King. When the Drow King caught wind of what they were after, he began commanding his own forces and started planning his own siege. A bloody battle ensued as the Illithidian siege barraged Ezecriel and Brunestin's temple. Fighting with every last bit of their strength, they managed to push back wave after wave after wave of brain-dead horrors. Right as things started looking up, the army of the Drow King erupted from the ground, and the 3 enigmatic forces collided in a cataclysmic onslaught that shook the very ground they stood on. The army of Drow rolled over the remaining Illithid with ease, and a wave of terror crashed over Ezecriel as he saw Brunestin completely overwhelmed in the distance. He watched the body of his brother fall lifeless at the feet of the Drow King, his corpse now being used to taunt and mock him. Still trying to process what just happened, Ezecriel looked up at the sky as it went dark. 2 empty chasms, now left a void where the moons were supposed to be. It looked as though it were a stain on the sky or a terrible sickness had enveloped it. The Drow King let Ezekiel live, knowing that death would only free him from greater misery. And it was true. With a look of smug satisfaction, the Drow King affixed one of the moons atop his staff before retreating back into the Underdark with the spoils of war. As a punishment for his risk, Saloon stripped Ezekiel of his powers and banished him to this building, unable to leave for all eternity. He had cost the inhabitants of this planet a great deal more than they would likely ever know, and lost everything he had in the process. It was an absolutely crushing feeling, but he accepted his fate, gloomily resigning to the life of a hermit. He serves his sentence, spending the next several thousand years just hoping that one day he'd be able to receive an opportunity to redeem himself.